Welcome to Wrasslin Raw!
All right, you're listening to Wrasslin Raw, the podcast that takes you back to when Raw became war and Attitude ruled. Thank you for joining us. You're here with Ryan Arico.
Poor old sad sack Dwayne Gill.
Joe Giammatteo.
He's a 400-pounder that can dunk a basketball.
No, that was such a strange thing to say.
He's thick. Look how thick he is.
Girthy and athletic.
I'm the one and only Jason Bartlett, and we're going to examine WWE history, one episode of Raw is War at a time. In this episode of Wrasslin Raw, we're going to be talking about the Raw that aired on November 23rd, 1998. This Raw was recorded at the Schottenstein Center in Columbus, Ohio, and features Jim Ross and Jerry the King Lawler on commentary. Are you guys ready?
I'm ready.
Ready.
All right, then. Let's get into it. This episode started with a recap of recent events, complete with Mills Lane.
Who is an
He's
actual
a real
judge.
No.
Plays one on TV.
Well, I'll agree to that, certainly. The great quote from JR about having Vince by the short hairs was in this mix. Mankind's attempted assault on Ken Shamrock and the Big Boss Man, and not to mention the Undertaker's unwelcome shovel shot to Austin's dome. Not just that, but we're also going to get some footage from the San Jose Medical Center here pretty soon, and I first thought that was going to be a check-in on the status of Hawk after being murdered last week, only to find out that nobody cares. And the hospital footage will be what's happening with Austin's apparent blackout episodes. I'm guessing that after that shovel shot, Austin should probably talk to Kenny or Mankind to find out how to mitigate some of these after effects that he's getting.
Scrambled. His brains are scrambled.
They're scrambled even worse now.
Yeah, well, unlike Kenny, he doesn't need steroids. He just needs some rest. Close your eyes and lay back.
After taking a Barry Bonds style swing to the face with a shovel.
I loved in the replays of it how they added like the gong sound so you could hear like, bong, bong when he hit.
It was the sound of a bedpan. But here in the arena in Columbus, the McMahons and their stooges started it off by coming down to the ring so Vince could assure everyone that he had nothing to do with The Undertaker attacking Austin, even going so far as to say that Vince McMahon doesn't lie. Beyond that, though, they're going to name a new WWF commissioner, which was really out of left field for me, especially with Vince reiterating for us that choice is for the fans. He's doing it for the fans. Slaughter apparently agreed to step aside to make room for an independent freethinker that won't answer to Vince, with the one major exception being Stone Cold Steve Austin. Vince does reserve the right to make all decisions related to Austin. And then you could see the tent getting pitched in Vince's crotch as he announced the Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels as the new WWF commissioner. His blood pressure must have dropped 20 points to fuel that erection. Shawn got on the mic. Shawn was glad to be there. He's ready to guarantee that things will never be the same again. And his first act as commissioner was to assign a championship match. The Rock defending against X-Pac. Later on tonight, Shawn started crotch chopping to celebrate, and Vince craned his neck to get the best possible view of said crotch as Shawn air humped his way up the ramp, while commentary laid out the events of the night. And that's where I ended it. So, guys, what a twist. Commissioner Shawn Michaels making championship matches for the top of the card. At this point, I was really liking the sound of that, and while I do remember Shawn being commissioner, I don't really remember much of what comes out of it. I think I remember the long play here, like a couple months from now maybe, but I'm not positive on that, or at least what Shawn's role in any of this is going to be long term. So, Ryan, why don't you get us going on our opening segment here?
Yeah, I thought it was a good opening segment. We had the McMahons out here with the Stooges, and that always gets the crowd's attention. And then we get a new commissioner, the Heartbreak Kid, and the crowd still loves him. They went nuts when he came out, gyrating and crotch chopping. They loved it all just as much as Vince. And yeah, we hear he's the new commission town, and he immediately makes another championship match for us, which is pretty great. And I think X-Pac could probably swing with anyone in the ring. The Rock, so I'm looking forward to that. As far as the Shawn Michaels run goes, my memory is that it doesn't last long at all. It's another very short-lived thing before he disappears again, but maybe I'm wrong.
I love how the McMahons walk down the ramp to start off this show with everybody just booing and throwing shit at them, and they're no selling it. They're smiling and waving, and I think that's hilarious. And it actually reminds me of when Donald Trump is going to these like sporting events these days, and people are just booing and giving him the finger, and he's totally no selling that too. So it's just such a great heel move by the McMahons, and I love seeing that. Shawn Michaels as commissioner, I love this idea. We know behind the scenes that he's having injury issues, so he's not going to be back in the ring anytime soon. This is probably the best role for him. I would certainly prefer this over having him being somebody's manager or being an announcer or any other role. I think this is really fitting, and it's going to be way more entertaining than Sergeant Slaughter as commissioner.
Yeah.
No,
for sure.
you don't
Whether
say.
It's even if it's a short run for Shawn, it's going to be pretty exciting to see. I also liked Shawn Michaels borrowing one of JR's lines with permission, by the way, and adding sizzle to tonight's steak. So that made me pop. And then Shawn crotch chopping and simulating pushing somebody's head down into his crotch also made me pop. I missed this kind of behavior, this attitude.
Degeneracy.
So I am looking forward to it. I remember as a fan watching in 1998, 99, and I liked Shawn as commissioner, but I don't remember much from it, similar to you guys. So I'm looking forward to rewatching it.
Yeah.
He's going to be gone next week, and we'll never see him again.
Do you guys think that Vince McMahon has one of those hentai pillows made in the shape of Shawn Michaels that he cuddles up with?
I think that's
probably.
I'm certainly.
Okay.
Yeah, because it came to my mind like while I was watching this, and
he's probably got a whole shrine like you have with Dan Severn.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, wasn't there talk like in those, when he got taken to court and everything, wasn't there talk about him like naming dildos after wrestlers or something?
Something along those.
So maybe there's a Shawn Michaels dildo that he named.
That's the one that he saves for himself. All right. Well, let's get this bullshit out of the way. Our first match of the night. The Headbangers defeat the Oddities, Golga and Kurgan, with the Giant Silva, Luna, and ICP by pinfall in 1 minute and 31 seconds. Thank you. Kevin Oh My God Kelly had the unfortunate responsibility of interviewing the Oddities beforehand.
Poor Kevin Kelly.
He's really come down in the world.
Getting screwed.
Yeah. I guess the gist of that was that ICP were supposed to be the ones in the match rather than Golga and Kurgan, but Violent J begged off, saying that they just weren't in good enough shape yet. And shit happens in the ring. ICP ended up spraying the Kurgan in the face with some kind of aerosol can, supposedly paint. Luna got her hair cut off, and I can't express how much I do not give a single shit about any of this. Ryan, what'd you think of it?
Piss poor. We start off with poor soul Kevin Kelly.
Yeah.
Just taking abuse back there, having to do this. I guess obviously we have to watch the Oddities wrestle, but maybe that's better than ICP. I don't care. After that, the match started and it was absolutely worthless. Like anytime the Oddities get in the ring. Poor Luna, poor Kevin Kelly.
Yeah, and poor JR, bless his heart for trying to sell this as remotely interesting, because it's not. Ugh. And it's a shame that him and the King have to deal with this as well. Thankfully, this was short, but I'm fearful of this angle that they're building with ICP turning on the Oddities, that this is just going to be a weekly bullshit angle that we're going to have to deal with.
Hopefully it'll stay mostly on heat.
Yeah.
I don't know. We've been getting it pretty consistently at the beginning of the card here on Monday nights. So I don't know. I'm
wishful
hoping
thinking.
Wishful thinking. It just fizzles out maybe and goes away whenever Vince Russo does. Is he gone already at this point? Did he leave for WCW yet in end of November 98?
No, Russo's there until like late 99, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know why I thought he left sooner than that.
Another year, Russo.
Yeah. Well, as long as he's here, this stupid shit's going to be around too. So
yeah.
Now let's get the hell away from that. We got a review of Kane's behavior over the last few weeks. Really looks like he's trying to shed that jobber status by getting back to the random supernatural murdering that he started off with back a year and a half, 2 years ago at this point. And we quickly from there moved into our next match. Steve Blackman defeats the Blue Blazer by pinfall in 2 minutes and 57 seconds. I really hate that the Blue Blazer leaves the cape on. I do. I don't know why.
It looks terrible. Well, because it makes him look clumsy in the ring.
Yes, it does. It was only mildly satisfying when Blackman used it to choke him. That was the most that I could get out of this. I did think it was a little funny though that the fringe on the cape was falling apart throughout the match. There were just fuzzies flying through the air the whole time, like somebody kicked up dust bunnies from under the couch. It was really distracting and honestly more entertaining than what was going on in the ring. Blackman tried to pull the mask off, and once again Owen Hart showed up to stop that, and that's where this ended. I hate to say it, guys, but I don't give a shit about this either. I'm not sure, what part of it I'm supposed to care about. Owen Hart has been made into a joke. I knew that would happen with the whole Nugget thing, and here we are. Nobody can take him seriously. Blackman might as well have been the jobber of the week here for all the good he did, and I'm surprised that he wasn't. Maybe he has a special match reserved for him in the future. I don't know, but terrible. This wasn't good. Joe, what'd you have on it?
I completely agree with everything you said. I did not give a shit about this match at all. When it was happening, I tried to research who this was in the Blue Blazer gimmick, and I could not find any confirmation on who this was. When it was not Owen Hart, nobody knows. There were
probably multiple people.
Well, there were rumors that maybe it was another Hart family, another Hart brother possibly, but no confirmation because I guess nobody really cares.
Yeah.
Right. Pretty much the same feelings as both of you. This, unfortunately, is really useless and bad to watch for what's going to be the end of Owen Hart's career. So that's shitty. And we didn't even get Blackman receiving a dick kick this week. So they didn't even fucking give us that.
Yeah.
It's interesting you mentioned the Nugget thing too, because when we rewatched it and that first started, I didn't necessarily hate it at the time, but with you bringing that up now, that was definitely the start of Owen Hart becoming a joke, which just really sucks.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure I was on the record with that as soon as it started, right up front, that it was not going to end well for him, and I'm not trying to be one of those told you so guys. And you guys weren't arguing with me about it either. It's just for our listeners out there, I called this months ago and it sucks that I have to say that and point that out. But it was just such a mistake on so many levels. The Nugget thing, because this is the natural progression of that.
Yeah.
I just want to throw this out there. I know you just said that we don't have any confirmation as to who this was, but we got a couple glimpses during the match of the Blue Blazers, not face, but his facial features. It's whenever JR was talking about his nose is obviously not big enough to be Owen Hart. To me, it really looked like PJ Polacco, Aldo Montoya, just incredible, whatever you want to call him. The shape of the face, you could see a little bit of facial hair under there. His build, he really looked like just incredible to me in this, but I don't know. That's just rampant speculation, so we'll keep going. What's next? We got footage from Heat yesterday where it looked like Austin had been in some other match that was against The Rock, surprisingly enough, and Austin had started to go down there in the corner. He was showing some signs of just being not quite right.
Scrambled brains.
Scrambled brains, yes.
Over easy and well done.
So that's the explanation that we got for how we got to today. I still think it's funny that he was in a match against The Rock, apparently, after saying that was not going to happen anytime soon on Raw last week.
It probably wasn't a title match.
Yeah, true. But still, we kept on getting that match, apparently. Those house shows must have been fire.
Or he got dizzy immediately.
Yeah.
And it was just a bait and switch where they thought they were going to get
one too many beers with Earl Hebner and the extra attitude. That's what it was. So after that, we went backstage where Shawn Michaels was arguing with Vince, and commentary told us that it had to do with Shawn's booking choices since becoming the commissioner. Personally, I maintained that they were haggling over the cost of Shawn allowing Vince to blow him. From there, we quickly went into our next match. The Brood. This is Edge and Gangrel with Christian defeats D'Lo Brown and Mark Henry by pinfall in 7 minutes and 6 seconds. The King coined the phrase sexual chocolate at the start of this match. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's the first time we're hearing that, right?
Yeah.
First I remember hearing it.
Okay. Look forward to that becoming a thing. D'Lo did a really great job of making Edge look good at the start of this. You could tell that he was leading Edge through that. I loved the King's line that Mark Henry is so strong that he eats steak with a spoon.
That was a great, I had that written down as well. Never heard that one.
No, me neither. That was a new one for me, too. Mark Henry had a great tilt-a-whirl slam on Edge at one point that looked good. And commentary mentioned how good of a tag team D'Lo and Mark Henry are. And I know that that's been discussed amongst us before. And in this case, I tend to agree with that. At this point in time, they're doing really well together. I know Mark's going to outgrow it, but for right now, I like this pairing between the two of them. They support each other in the ring really well. Eventually, Chyna came out. She was dressed all in leather, and that was enough of a distraction for Mark Henry to get stuck in a surprise roll-up again. And with her announcement here, Chyna agreed to go on a date, and just the pure joy emanating from Mark Henry was contagious. D'Lo was a little mad about the loss at first, but got over it quickly because he is a truly supportive friend and a great human being, as well as a fantastic athlete. My takeaways from this match were that I like having D'Lo and Mark Henry as a tag team. For now, they're entertaining, but I'm quickly losing interest in the Brood because they don't really seem to do anything other than indulge in Gangrel's vampire fetish, and the whole thing with Chyna continues to be entertaining, much more so than anything the Brood is doing right now. So, Ryan, what'd you think of this match?
I thought all around it was a fairly strong match. Gangrel and Edge, the Brood is spinning their wheels right now. Of course, we know where they're going to head, and things are definitely going to get better for them. But as far as them in the ring, I thought they worked really well with Mark and D'Lo. And as you pointed out, D'Lo and Henry, they're a good tag team at this point. So all around, I thought up until the Chyna interruption, I thought we had a solid match here. Nothing spectacular, but serviceable for sure.
Yeah.
And then again, interested in the Chyna sexual chocolate story. So that we get further. She says yes. I think that's the only word we got out of her, right? Was yes. So Mark, he gets rolled up again, but you said D'Lo shrugged it off, where I haven't noted where this week he didn't seem quite as supportive.
I said he was mad at first, but he got over it quickly.
I'm just saying, maybe we're going to be seeing the end of their pairing coming up here soon, too.
Yeah. Well, that's okay, though.
That girl getting between them.
Yeah.
Hose before bros.
Yeah, Jerry Lawler casually saying sexual chocolate for the first time was exciting to hear. And I also really enjoyed Lawler saying that D'Lo is so brave for competing with that injured chest.
It's been like a year now.
Yeah, so that was really funny. And the thing that stands out in the actual match to me is that Edge, for me, really comes off as a well-trained student of the game. He's not doing anything over the top. He has that dive that he does, but outside of that, it just appears that he's focused on fundamentals. Like he looks like someone who is fresh out of wrestling school, but has a lot of potential. He comes off that way. So I like watching him wrestle right now. Big pop for Chyna, so I loved hearing that. And of course, keeping this slow-moving storyline going between Chyna and Mark Henry. I've definitely enjoyed it so far. So I am looking forward week after week what they're going to do with this storyline.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. This match was 7 minutes long, so if we're talking about hanging the sexual chocolate story on a 7-minute hook in the first hour of this show, let's keep it coming, because there are definitely other ways, oddities that we can piss away 7 minutes and less. So I'll take it every time.
Blue Blazer.
Yeah. Yep. Well, pretty much the entire show up to this point, really. Time-wise, it all adds up to that. But we'll keep it moving, because we went next to some footage of Stone Cold in the hospital berating the healthcare professionals. Jesus, what a miserable patient Stone Cold Steve Austin would be to have.
Give me my medical beer.
Yeah, he got hit in the head with a damn shovel. What do you expect?
Brain scrambled.
Mm-hmm. He got the JVC kaboom box over the head. Doesn't break.
Got the old kaboom of the week straight to the dome. Yeah, well, I'm not going to get into specifics, but this is the stuff that just makes you not want to go to work next time, honestly, sometimes. But after some warnings from the healthcare professionals there about getting rest and watching his blood pressure, JR asked Austin some inflammatory questions, and I loved hearing the heart monitor increase in the background. That's a
just one
detail.
of those small,
They're
one of those small things.
I love
it. Vince Russo, I think, behind that.
God, don't say that now. After that, we got a little bit of Shawn Michaels in the back with Degeneration X doing some random chatting, and we quickly moved into our next match. Goldust versus Mark Marrow ends in a no contest in 3 minutes and 59 seconds. My first thought was that I feel like we've had a lot of this match back when Sable was still with Marrow, and also that the no contest ending will hopefully mean Kane. I never thought I'd be whimsical for like a year ago with this shit. And we got the word here from commentary that Austin is going to be in a buried alive match against The Undertaker at the next pay-per-view called Rock Bottom. So that all stacks up with the dirt sheet news he had for us last week,
and
Joe.
the shovel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We also got some footage from Heat where Jackie was apparently fired from being Marrow's valet for costing him victories. I'm not sure.
What's he have left now?
So I'm not sure what that's really about, because he's basically just been Jackie's manager for like the past 9 months.
Right.
What fucking matches has he been in?
Right. I'm just surprised that after he fired her that she didn't power slam him or whatever the fuck her finisher move is after nailing him in the balls.
Yeah, or punt him in the dick.
Yeah.
Well, the power slam might have been a bit much because Mark was looking a little pudgy around the midsection here. I think all of that time out of the ring on the sidelines is getting his body weight up. Terry Runnels came out then, and Jesus Christ, she was looking very hot in an outfit that screamed late 90s.
Yeah. All of that underboob.
Yeah.
That's a big 90s thing.
She can score in me anytime.
But then Jackie came out, and damn, she looked even better than Terry. She was wearing more than Terry was, but she looked better in it. The vibe in the ring was out of shape and rusty, so my attention kept shifting back to the ladies at the outside, and at the end of this, there ended up being a double dick assault. Jackie went for the low blow to the gold nuts, where Terry punted Marrow's balls through his tonsils. That's where this ended, and I don't have much left to say about it. Goldust and Marrow did not look very good, and you could tell that this was not about them at all. Like, I don't know if it was that they were out of shape and rusty, or that they knew that this was a vehicle for Jackie and Terry, and therefore didn't give a shit about selling any of it. I don't know, but I'm also wondering if this is the start of PMS, Pretty Mean Sisters.
Yeah.
Okay. I couldn't tell. I thought maybe Ivory had something to do with that, so I didn't think we were maybe there yet, but I don't know. There's a ton of shit that I forget about, these obscure stories that they were doing. But Joe, what'd you have on all this?
Yeah, I'm guessing that's the start of that. It could be a situation where it's like the New Age Outlaws, how they were together for like, a few months before they really became the New Age Outlaws. So it might be one of those deals. But yeah, this was definitely a vehicle for the girls to come out here and punt someone in the dick. And I'm sure whoever gets punted is going to be just fine next week too. Like they have been every week. But man, the USA Network had to be really worried about what these girls were going to be wearing every week. So there's some serious TNA going on here in November of '98.
Test and Albert? Sorry, I had to.
Yeah, Goldust and Marrow, these two guys, they've been in story purgatory for almost a year now, both of them. It's been pretty bad. As you both stated, just a vehicle for the ladies here, which they looked good coming out here, and the crowd loved it. They were perfectly fine ignoring the two wrestlers in the ring to look at these two ladies. Jacqueline, it looked like she maybe fell out of her top
Yeah.
After she did the crotch chop, because looked like she was pulling back up there. So Joe, to your point, I don't know if USA ended up cutting anything there, but I don't know if there's an angle where anything got seen. But so yeah, we got the women being displayed here, but these two wrestlers, man, they just can't catch a break.
Yeah. It's just, it's a shame because, well, Mero is whatever, but we were so excited for the return of Goldust. And
they murdered it.
He's functionally no different than Dustin was here, really. So
yeah,
we'll keep it going.
It hasn't been since, like, when he first came back, he was, and then he just kind of reverted into being a normal person now.
Yeah. Which is crazy, too, because the WWF has gone to such edgy material. And you would think that a character like Goldust would be doing crazy shit every week, but nope.
Yeah, how does a bizarre androgynous creep
have no presence at all on this show?
And look at what happens later on, too. We get this we'll talk about it later.
Yeah, you have a porn star, you have a pimp.
Yes. Yeah. You can't tell me that you can't figure out a way to get this guy into that somehow.
Yeah.
He has to have some kind of bizarre sexual proclivity that is of a business interest to the pimp and the porn star. And he's a film producer or some kind of shit. Like this, I'm writing this right now. I could have come up with a better storyline for this than they did.
Yeah.
Nope.
Anyway, we'll keep it going. Back in the hospital, Austin was still there. He was getting told to get some rest while getting bothered for his autograph.
Is that a hospital?
Well, a medical facility, San Jose.
I wasn't sure.
Unnamed, but in San Jose some. He was also still getting pestered with questions from JR.
Those questions were annoying as fuck.
Yeah. It was almost like the Michael Cole Vince question about how do you feel?
It wasn't that bad, but they were bad.
Just as we left that scene, though, we got a view of a hearse pulling up outside of the hospital, and I wondered if we were maybe going to get an attempt at repeating the success of the hospital scene with Austin and Vince, but with Austin as the patient this time.
Bedpan Austin.
Yeah. Yeah. The sound of a shovel. Dumb. But, again, we quickly moved on to our next match. Mankind defeats Ken Shamrock and the Big Boss Man by pinfall in 8 minutes and 25 seconds in a triple threat match to retain the WWF Hardcore Championship. So this wasn't billed in my research as a hardcore match specifically, although the hardcore title being on the line would normally just indicate that automatically, but the more I thought about it, I was like, well, the belt is still really new, and we haven't had it long enough to get a formal statement of the rules as they pertain to the title. But JR does get into that once the bell rings.
JR.
Yeah, once the first hits happen, we'll say. So I'm sure that pretty soon we'll have an official graphic up for these matches that gives us a quick glance to remind us of the rules.
When at some point we're going to get the 24-hour rule.
Yeah. They'll do a better job of clarifying this in the future, but they're still trying to figure it out now. The match itself was kind of lackluster up through the point that the McMahons showed up at the top of the ramp to watch. No weapons other than the Boss Man's nightstick had been used up to that point. But as soon as I typed that, Mankind pulled a broom out from under the ring, and all I could think of was Homer Stokes from Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Just sweeping it clean. Shamrock ended up taking a steel chair to the dome. My God. Hopefully his steroid injection was ready for immediately after the match.
Directly to the forehead.
Yeah. And the Job Squad ended up coming in and interfering here. Bob Holly still has such a terrible mullet.
Yeah.
God.
Sparkplug.
Yeah.
Sparky.
Yeah. Al Snow drilled Kenny in the head with head. That got Mankind the pinfall and the win. But that kept going. The Boss Man and Shamrock kept working over Mankind after we moved into the next segment. That was up the ramp and through the door. They were beating him. So I thought it was neat to see how they're figuring out how the hardcore matches are going to work in real time. We're seeing that right now. It started slow but picked up. The weapons use was pretty tame, all things considered. But again, this is a new format of match. We need to figure out, what is USA going to allow? We know the fans want blood. They can't get enough of it. They saved this for the second hour of Raw, so it's past that prime time moment where they're allowed to be a little naughtier on TV, but they still have to test the waters. The match itself was fine. I have really no major complaints about it other than Bob Holly's fucking mullet is probably one of the worst things to ever be on our screens. So, Ryan, what'd you have on this match and its aftermath?
I agree. It was a pretty solid match. We're still learning what this hardcore match is going to be, but it being a triple threat and the triple threat basically being a tag team against Mankind, you knew he was never going to really get the upper hand too long. Every time he did, the numbers would always catch up to him. But because of that, I kind of, just before the match started, I didn't remember him losing it this quickly. So I figured somehow he was going to win it. And to my surprise, the Job Squad, a pleasant surprise, if I'm being honest. I haven't cared about Al Snow much at all, or Head, but now this Job Squad who comes out and helps the underdog, I like that. That's a story that could sell, and as far as I'm concerned. So I like how it ended, and I thought the match itself was solid and fine.
Yeah, it's basically a handicap match here, and the Job Squad coming out here to help Mankind. I feel like I should hate that, but I don't. I actually really like this. I guess with a little bit of cheating, we know that Mankind is quickly working his way into top guy territory. So, and when I say top guy, like top 3 or 4 superstars in the WWF. And this is part of these past several weeks, past month or two, he's been slowly building up to that, with now that he's going up against the corporation, having the Job Squad out here to help him out, go up against those guys is really good stuff. So it seems like every week there's something different with Mankind that's helping slowly propel him up to top guy status.
Yeah, it kind of makes you wonder who's behind that. Like who's coming up with the details and who's doing the propelling. Because we all know that originally Vince wasn't too keen on Mick and everybody else loved him. So I wonder who this is behind the scenes besides Mick himself, because Mick is a pretty damn smart guy. He knows how to work and how to tell a story.
I think at this point, though, Vince does see money signs with him, especially after the Hell in the Cell match. Yeah. I think he realizes he could put asses in the seats out there.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know about that though. Honestly, I'm positive that Vince sees the value in being able to hurt Mankind however he wants, whenever he wants on pay-per-views. But I think that there are more people, and we've heard like JR, Bruce Pritchard, those people talk about how valuable Mick was behind the scenes too, just as a good guy, good locker room material, a good person, a good influence on the boys, how insanely intelligent he is.
He's not a Shawn Michaels type that's causing issues. Yeah.
Right. So while I don't doubt that Vince saw money in the violence that Mankind represents, I'm willing to bet that there were some other people like JR or Pritchard who were like, well, Mick can go in a lot of different directions, not just violent ones, and we should explore that. So I don't know. I'm looking forward to seeing how it plays out here because, like you guys, like I'm a huge Mankind and Mick Foley fan, but these little details are what's great to be reliving here as we're rewatching this. But getting back into the episode here, we're going to go back to the medical center to see the Undertaker strangling Stone Cold Steve Austin in his bed while Paul Bearer watched, in the dark, no less. And based on their actions and statements like, he's going, from Paul Bearer, I think Austin was dead. They were trying to kill him, legitimately.
That's 2 weeks in a row. That's 2 weeks in a row now. Hawk last week and Steve Austin this week.
Once he was gone, per Paul Bearer, The Undertaker did make sure to tough talk Austin's corpse. I thought that was cringy. And they dragged him out of the hospital and into the hearse. Apparently, everybody in the hospital had punched out and gone home because there were no attempts to stop them. There was nobody around.
It was night shift.
They're all sleeping under their desks. So I have to pause it here to ask, what did you guys think of this? But also, like, maybe somebody can remind me just what exactly happened to make The Undertaker hate Austin this much. Ryan, can you maybe help me out with that?
I don't think it matters. Because in my book,
it kind of does.
It doesn't. It doesn't. And as far as I'm concerned, I don't give two flying fucks because we have vintage Undertaker back now. And that's all that really matters. We don't have fucking sweatpants wearing, whining about his shot at the belt or fucking
Sweatpants.
being in cahoots. This is fucking evil, hearse driving, murdering motherfuckers, Undertaker. So I'm happy.
He did say
he
did say that Austin was going for his last ride, though, which immediately made me think of
it did.
me
Biker
too. Undertaker.
Oh.
So.
I immediately went rolling in my head, and I puked a
No.
little bit. I puked. But I'm thrilled. And in the matter of just a couple weeks, we went from, at least for me, being completely over anything The Undertaker was doing with Austin to now, this is good stuff. This is the type of angles that I want to see The Undertaker in, not the fucking bullshit that we were doing before. This is The Undertaker.
Yeah, it's crazy because it's almost like we want something new and fresh for The Undertaker compared to what he has been doing, which is like back and forth cahoots with his brother, Kane.
And sweatpants
and
wearing.
sweatpants wearing.
Yeah.
And this is maybe, and we were getting our taints tickled on whether or not is Undertaker a heel or a baby face. We don't know. And this seems to put him in a position to really go full heel very soon. So that's most likely why that is happening, is my guess.
All right, well, we'll keep it going into our next match. Dwayne Gill defeats Christian by pinfall in 2 minutes and 28 seconds to win the WWF Light Heavyweight Championship.
Match of the year candidate.
Yep,
God.
match of the year. That's 2 he's been in now.
I'm pretty sure all of his matches will make it.
Hey, there was no chance he was going to be Jobber of the Week in this one. He won a fucking title.
Yeah. So JR kept saying that he could not believe what has happened with Austin. Well, I could not believe that Dwayne Gill is still here in this match and about to win this title, as useless as it is. It was during this match that I saw my favorite sign, which we'll get to that later. But the Job Squad ended up reappearing here. They attacked everyone, and this ended with Dwayne Gill as the new lightweight champion. Michael Cole was waiting to ask Gill questions at the top of the ramp. I couldn't understand any of it, so I can't even tell you what they talked about. But yeah, this was pure garbage. Like, I don't know. I don't know what else to say about it. That's it for me. I'm out of here. Joe, what'd you have on it?
Yeah, it's funny, but like, I don't know if it's funny in a good way or a bad way. But Dwayne Gill is one goofy looking motherfucker, so I do enjoy seeing him on screen every week.
I loved it. I thought this was some of the best shit we've had in a long time. We make an absolute mockery of the light heavyweight championship, which it already has been. Let's be serious.
Yeah.
So no harm done there. We get some laughs.
You did, maybe.
Dwayne Gill, our new light heavyweight champ. He's already more liked by the fans than Taka Michinoku. So
Who?
Yeah.
and then his marvelous acceptance speech, just absolutely perfect. This segment.
Yeah, it's right up there with the Hard Times interview. The cream of the crop.
Yeah. All right. There's Dwayne Johnson, Dwayne Wade, and now Dwayne Gill.
Statue should be put up in Stamford, Connecticut of Dwayne Gill.
Okay, let's get the fuck away from that. I don't know how you enjoyed this, Ryan. I swear to God, I hope you're joking. I'm going to start losing respect for you.
Well, he's on his way to a Dwayne Gill shrine.
Yeah,
That's true.
He's got the
That's
first
true.
piece.
So up next, we had the hearse backing up to some kind of pre-dug hole in some kind of cemetery. The lighting was really not good here. There was a lot of purple overtones.
There happens to be cameras there, too.
Yeah.
wow, cameras are everywhere.
Yeah.
Paul Bearer helped The Undertaker get Austin out of the back of that hearse, but then Paul insisted that the hole needed to be dug a little bit deeper. Paul Bearer was saying that this time Austin had crossed the line, and I have no idea what line was crossed or how it was crossed. Austin started to perk up a little bit, but Paul pulled out some kind of chemical to sedate him again. I think it was implied that it was probably chloroform. Paul and Taker then decided that rather than bury Austin alive, they would embalm him alive. And JR
Embalm?
lost his goddamn mind.
Oh my God.
Embalmed.
This is not right.
Back in the arena, the Godfather's music kicked on, but there was no match listing in my research, so I assumed this to be a prostitute bargaining session. Columbus's hose looked pretty good whenever he brought them on out. I think any one of them would be more than acceptable for the deal, although the blonde was certainly the least of the three, I thought.
I would always take the hose.
Yes. Yep. So it ended up that Tiger Ali Singh came out, and I distinctly remember thinking a few weeks ago, thinking and hoping that these two would have a program, but I guess that fizzled out. This got interrupted by Steven Regal coming out in that ridiculous hard hat. Like, he's a fucking cartoon character in this game.
I'm just a working class man's man.
Yeah. Looking like Bob the Builder. Ended up being a three-way fight in the ring there, but Val Venus ran in to seemingly fight on the side of the Godfather. And that fizzled out to nothing as we moved to a backstage argument between Shawn Michaels and The Rock with the McMahons between them. And then that transitioned to Shawn having a talk with Earl Hebner, literally and symbolically throwing out the script. That's what I took that to mean. They suggested that might be the rule book they were throwing out, but it really looked like a script that they were messing with. And that's it. So this was by far the girthiest mid-match segment we've had so far. So Joe, what'd you have on The Undertaker, The Hose, and Shawn Michaels?
Yeah, I think the Undertaker stuff is pre-recorded, but I do think Austin is doing a good job at playing dead in all of these segments here, especially here where they just toss him into that open grave. You can't really call it a match, but the Godfather, Tiger Ali Singh, and Steven Regal is just a waste of time. Where is Babu, by the way?
Yeah.
I was hoping for some crazy antics. If I'm going to see Tiger Ali Singh, I want to see someone deep-throating a sausage.
Yeah.
And that didn't happen, so I'm not very happy about that. And Shawn Michaels in this heated exchange with The Rock and McMahon's and talking to Earl Hebner. I like these scenes in the back where we can't hear what they're saying, but we know that there's people are cooking up something in the back. I always like that. I always think that's a good transition, whether it's going to commercial or coming back from commercial.
Yeah.
Starting at the cemetery, again, I'm enjoying this more vintage Undertaker character. So this is just a continuation of that, and I think they're doing a good job of storytelling here. This is more like a show or a movie that we're getting with the Undertaker and what he's doing with Steve. So the Godfather, Tiger Ali, I guess it's just I don't care about hardly anyone involved here. Then once the man's man and Tiger Ali start to tag team up on Godfather, the babyface porn star comes out and saves the babyface pimp. And these degenerate fans love it.
Yeah.
So I guess, hey, they're getting what they want there. As far as the exchange with Shawn, I'm with you, Joe. I always like these where you don't really hear what's happening. They work good for this, a little filler segment to just kind of transition to the next segment.
Yeah, I do agree with that. As long as you can't hear what's being said, they can just mouth whatever they want, and it's a good way to kill 15, 20 seconds.
Audience gets to just fill in the blank, what they think.
Let your imagination do the work. And I do agree, Joe, that Babu's whole shtick was sorely missed here, because I guarantee you that they could have found some guy in Columbus that could take down 12 inches of sausage real easy.
Yeah, or one of the hoes.
Or one of the hoes.
Oh, okay. I was maybe thinking like a Blue Jackets fan or something like that.
They didn't exist yet, did they?
I don't know. Did they?
I think they came after that, yeah.
Damn it. Well, I'll have to just throw that one back on the pile and drag it out sometime later.
Throw it on the cold, hard slab.
Yeah. All right. Let's go to our next match. The Job Squad, this is Bob Holly and Scorpio, with Al Snow and Dwayne Gill, defeat the New Age Outlaws by pinfall in 5 minutes and 23 seconds. I couldn't help but think of what you said last week, Joe, about the New Age Outlaws just sucking now. And I'm there. I think I'm officially there.
What do you mean? They're in a match with the Job Squad.
Yeah, and they lose.
Losing to the Job Squad.
Yeah.
A part of me, big part of me, thinks that the Road Dogg was either sick or intoxicated during this. He wasn't really acting like his usual self. And then later on, whenever he comes out with X-Pac too, he just doesn't seem, he seems off, I'll say. And for the record, the crowd pop for Al Snow's music was just as loud as the Outlaws coming out. When the match started, the crowd got some kind of chant going. I couldn't understand it, but with the hand gestures they were making, I think it was maybe some kind of college football reference, maybe. I'm really surprised JR didn't crawl all over that to tell us what it was all about. So I wasn't excited or into this at all. I kept getting distracted by Bob Holly's fucking mullet. And whoever ended up talking him into shaving that shit off should have gotten an enormous bonus. I want to just make sure that's on the record. Mankind ended up coming out with a running leaf blower to attack Billy Gunn, giving the Job Squad the pin. And the Bossman and Shamrock came out after that to attack Mankind and the Job Squad. They ended up using the leaf blower, still running, as a weapon repeatedly, and things wound down from there. The Stooges started to come out, but we moved on quickly to the next segment. And I don't know what else to say about this. I think the Outlaws are starting to not be good, like we said, and the Job Squad, I'm not as up on them at this moment quite yet. They haven't really done anything that's been of major interest to me yet. I still love their shirts. I still wish I would have gotten one back then, but Bob Holly's hair is just, it's an insult to creation. So, Ryan, what'd you think of this match?
I agree with you with the Outlaws, just like Joe pointed out last week. You mentioned Road Dogg, and yeah, it just seemed like he was really phoning it in here.
Yeah.
To the point where what came up in my head was the Bart Simpson meme, the say the line, Bart.
Yeah.
I didn't do it.
Yeah.
But instead it's suck it instead of I didn't do it. The match was actually fine, though. I thought that Holly and Scorpio, they did an okay job with the Outlaws, but nothing spectacular. Nothing you want to see your tag team champs in. Like, it needs to be a little bit more than that. A little bit more sizzle on the steak than that. But Mankind coming out, I don't know if it really added to this match. I know the fans love Mankind, and so do I, but why was he out here with a leaf blower? I didn't really get that. And then the corporation starts using the leaf blower. Really, the whole end of this segment was just hearing whirling of the leaf blower. Was all you heard for the last 90 seconds of this match.
I have to say, I don't hate the Job Squad right now. And again, I feel like I should, but I don't. It's kind of a comedy act, but it's not shitty like the Oddities right now. And
right.
Maybe that's why I don't hate them, is because I have the Oddities to compare it to when it comes to like a goofy comedy act.
We're here. It's like, oh, these are actually competent wrestlers.
Yeah.
The bar has been set so low.
Yeah, and the New Age Outlaws, don't get me wrong, their entrance is legendary. I love it. But beyond that, right now, there's just nothing going on for them. And Road Dogg, he sucks in the ring. He basically just rips off Dusty Rhodes with most of what he does.
Yes, he does.
If not for the mic skills, he's basically the Marty Jannetty of the tag team.
Well, to be honest, watching this match and seeing him wrestle, even worse than Marty Jannetty, is Jannetty had a pretty good physique. The Road Dogg, you look at him and you're just like, why is he a wrestler? He's like 180-pound skinny fat dude that you see at the bar. Like, he has no muscle definition. He's not really all that tall. I don't get it.
He's in a wrestling family.
Yeah.
So why didn't he decide to jump on the juice like Kenny and maybe bulk up a little bit?
Yeah. His name has meaning in the business, so that's probably why he's there getting the opportunities that he got. But yeah, I don't know. They're just not in a good spot right now. They need to get into like a storyline or something. And maybe we saw it with the Stooges talking to the Outlaws after. That piqued my interest a little bit. I'm liking these stables that are forming. Surprisingly, I'm liking what's going on with all that. And I thought the leaf blower was hilarious. I don't know why. I just thought it was fucking hilarious. It's just out of control. It just looked like a 1 minute spot that was just out of control. And it just made me laugh.
Kind of reminded me of Chainsaw Charlie when he was coming out.
Yeah, that's the thing I thought of too. Yeah, and I agree on Road Dogg here, both in that his name is probably what's getting him most of what he's had so far, but also in that he looks like the 180-pound weakling that like Billy Gunn would kick sand on at the beach.
Right.
There's just no comparison between the two of them. And that's an unfair comparison because of how shockingly
Enormous.
amazing Billy Gunn is. But anyway.
That's the thing is you could put him up next to Aldo Montoya and he looks out of shape and small. You know what I mean?
Yep. Well, let's keep it going because we have to go to the hearse. The hearse was pulling up to some kind of building, and then a view of the interior, which was definitely, well, maybe not a funeral home, but definitely a place that handles dead bodies.
Some sort of funeral home.
Yeah. Some sort of mortuary. The Undertaker continued to tough talk Austin's unconscious body as Paul Bearer began to set up his embalming equipment. JR just kept screaming, "Oh my God," over and over again. He must be taking notes from Kevin Kelly. The Undertaker started chanting something that was definitely gibberish as he was preparing
tongues. He was speaking in tongues.
Yeah.
No. Well, okay. As long as we can pick up that one of those words sounds like Satan, we'll be good. That's probably the notes that he got. That was as he was preparing to impale Austin with, I don't know what it's called, but it's the big fucking needle-looking thing that they use to
embalming wand.
Inject formaldehyde into corpses.
Again, can we go back to your question on why does the Undertaker want to kill Steve Austin?
Unless we're hoping, unless we're hoping for some kind of Weekend at Bernie's situation here, I don't think anything's going to work out. Which that would be great if we could somehow have like Paul Bearer puppeting magically the corpse of Steve Austin to win the title and then like give it to Undertaker. See, I'm writing this right now in real time, and it's better than what they were doing. Anyway. Kane showed up out of nowhere to attack them. Austin regained consciousness at just the right moment as Paul Bearer was about to stab him in the chest with scissors. And Austin escaped that building somehow just in time for us to hear X-Pac's opening music back in the arena. X-Pac! So I had to pause it here because I'm not enjoying this at all. What they've got going on here with the Undertaker, and it's to me it's cringy. They're drawing it out longer than it needs to be drawn out. I don't care, and it's honestly making me wonder if I'm going to end up enjoying the deeper ministry stuff when we eventually get to it, because like this isn't too far off of starting to crucify people. Embalming people alive. Like, that's fucked up.
If you don't remember what's to come.
Well, I do and I don't, but like, I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm going to like it now. You live and you learn, I guess. Maybe I'm the one that grew up here, Ryan.
Maybe.
No, I don't know. But seriously,
you hate fun.
Yeah, the fun of embalming live people.
Yeah.
In all seriousness, though, and you've pretty much answered this question already. But like, is this really like totally holding up for you as the asshole for the Undertaker? Like, this is just as good.
I mean, I don't know if it's just as good, but I'm entertained by this. This is like a horror movie. I'm fine with this. Like I said earlier, like as long as we're not getting him in jogging pants and bitching and moaning in the ring and just cahoots with his brother, like this is what I expect out of the Undertaker.
Well, for me, like this segment, do you have anything else to say about the segment, Ryan?
No, that's pretty much it.
They throw Austin on the cold, hard slab, and Undertaker mentioned the ministry here at one point. They're definitely creeping into the more satanic version of The Undertaker. We have not really seen that yet. This is kind of the first glimpse at that.
Of course it's going to be cringy. This is for edgelord 15-year-olds like we were when we were young. So I don't know.
And edgelord 43-year-olds too?
Well, to me it's just I'm fine with it because I could bring back my youth a little bit. And see why I enjoyed it. Yes, it's corny in today's standards as an adult, but I'm fine with it. It's still enjoyable.
Okay.
Yeah, well, it's creeping into the more satanic version. Because again, we haven't really seen that yet. We're going to get a lot more of that in the future. And he's speaking in tongues.
I think that's what really put it over the edge for me.
That was really cringy. I'll give you that. The tongues was cringy.
Kane interrupts this, and that's when I just start laughing. Like, this is fucking hilarious to me. Like ridiculous hilarious. Like, to translate this into 2026, it's like watching a shitty Tubi original horror movie.
Yes. Right up, especially because Austin stumbles out just into our hero, stumbles out and is saved.
Yes, just a terrible horror movie you'd see on Tubi.
Clearly inebriated, you have to assume that he got behind the wheel of the hearse to fully escape.
With scrambled brains, too.
Yeah.
I would have liked to have seen
High
more
blood
of Kane
pressure
in there with them. Because there's all kinds of weapons, and they've fully committed to murdering people at this point. Both of them, all three of them, really. I mean, Paul was going to stab Austin with the scissors. Undertaker was going to embalm him, and Kane, we know, has killed multiple people up to this point. So
this particular segment was very memorable to me because I remember the shock factor back when it aired, and I think it just doesn't hold up that well because we've seen so many shocking things since then on TV. I mean, I get what they were going for. Obviously, they're going for that shock factor on television.
Yeah, and I will be fair and say that back then this was shocking. Like there was, and I probably liked this back then. I don't quite remember this stuff exactly, the specific scene exactly, but
yeah.
I probably liked it back then too.
It's satanic shit on cable TV. Like it got attention.
Yeah. And what's that saying? Bad news is better than no news, something like that.
Soon we are going to have Tonight There Will Be a Sacrifice.
Do you still have that sound file?
On Tubi.
I know. I think Troy Parrish still does.
Because if there's anything that ever deserved to be on the soundboard, it's that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, guys, I look forward to discussing this more as it plays out over the weeks with you guys, because I have a feeling that I may be an 18%er on a lot of it. Let's go now into
What a surprise.
I know, shocking. Our final match of the night. The Rock defeats X-Pac by pinfall in 8 minutes and 32 seconds to retain the WWF Championship. After last week's match, I wasn't feeling the electricity at all at the start of this. I'm not sure why that is. I'm not sure what to attribute that to. It's definitely partially because X-Pac just doesn't have the same kind of pop that Austin does, but he's still a crowd favorite, so that I thought he would get a little more than this. Shawn Michaels came out to eject both the Bossman and Shamrock, who had come out with The Rock, as well as the Outlaws, who had come out with X-Pac, to ensure the one-on-one nature of the match. And Shawn Michaels, he felt like an unwanted distraction as he was just sitting at ringside. And I was like imagining Vince in Kevin Dunn's ear saying, "Just give me one more shot of Shawn. I just want to see him one more time." And the weight class difference between these two was very obvious. I know X-Pac's whole thing is like working up from the bottom as the underdog, but he was just not a believable threat in the first half of this. The McMahons came out to watch. That didn't do much other than add one more distraction for our screens away from the match. And in another twist, Shawn Michaels ends up taking a chair to X-Pac, giving The Rock the victory.
That son of a bitch.
The Outlaws came out to defend X-Pac. Things fizzled out, and just as we got a shot of the McMahons and Shawn and The Rock crotch chopping together, we faded to black. I'm just going to throw this out there. I didn't really enjoy this episode. I didn't enjoy the finish to it here. Shawn backstabbing X-Pac is interesting, but it feels like we're backstabbing people every week. Like, that's just our go-to, like, how can we propel the story? Yeah, we're just, who are we going to betray next? JR can't possibly scream loud enough to make that interesting to me, and I'll have to leave it at that. Joe, what'd you think of our final match and the way that Raw ended tonight?
That's interesting. I thought that this final match and just the end of the show was quite a ride. I think that Michaels sending all the cronies back to the backstage area he's already a better commissioner than Sergeant Slaughter ever was. I liked that at the beginning.
100%.
Before this match even started, and towards the beginning of the match, it was giving me some good flashbacks of 1, 2, 3 Kid versus Bret Hart. I think X-Pac is clearly the underdog. He hasn't earned this opportunity. He's just there as this huge underdog. You give him like a 5%, if that, chance of winning this match. But he's a great wrestler. So is The Rock. So it's going to be entertaining. There was a fan that yelled, "Hey, Rock, you suck." And The Rock immediately yells, "Fuck you," to the fan on TV. So that got a good laugh out of me there. Yeah. I think Michaels turning on X-Pac, I think they did telegraph that. I think that was predictable with the way that everybody was acting, but I think that they pulled it off pretty well. and Michaels joining the corporation. By the way, I love the term corporate elbow and how they just constantly talk about it. I think it's hilarious. But Michaels joining the corporation, it's maybe getting into NWO territory where there's like too many people joining the corporation already. But if I remember correctly, Michaels is going to swerve back and forth between babyface and heel, so maybe that won't last very long. But the shot of the four of them crotch chopping on the top of the ramp to close the show, I thought was great, with Shawn Michaels, The Rock, and Shane and Vince. So I thought it was a really good ending to the show.
Yeah, I'm in Joe's camp here. I thought this was a great way to end the show. I agree X-Pac isn't stone cold, but I thought we still had a very good match, a very entertaining match, because X-Pac does a great job no matter who he's in there with. I agree it wasn't necessarily believable because of how much bigger The Rock is, but I thought they still did a great job with each other and put on a pretty lengthy match before everything dissolved at the end here. And 2 weeks in a row now, we've had the heavyweight championship put on the line for the main event, and not bait and switch matches either, like 2 actual matches. So I thought that all was great. And then you bring in Shawn Michaels' turn. Joe, I agree. It was maybe a bit predictable, but even still, I thought it made for a great ending. JR screaming that Michaels is sold out and calling him a son of a bitch. Like, all of that was good. And as you also stated, that perfect shot of the McMahons and The Rock and Michaels mockingly doing the suck it motion, and the crowd just fucking furious over it. And that's what we fade to black. I thought that is a great way to end the show.
The action was fine. And I definitely saw the 1, 2, 3 kid in the first half of this at the very least. To be clear, like, X-Pac does nothing wrong here. The Rock, nobody really does anything wrong here. And I do like having a championship match, but I just feel like there are better ways to go about it than this. And I'm a nitpicking 18%er dickbag tonight.
Yeah,
so.
As always.
Yeah.
Not just tonight.
Well, yeah, but it's especially coming on hard tonight. But as I said, we faded to black, so let's take it on over to highlights, lowlights, and our favorite signs. Ryan, why don't you take that first?
Well, you're going to love my highlight. It is The Undertaker becoming the fucking Undertaker again. That is my highlight. No more sweatpants. He put those away.
Mr.
Put him away, folded up, and got him dry cleaned and put him away.
In plastic on a hanger now.
Get out those leather fucking laced pants.
Yeah.
My low light is going to be the blue blazer versus Steve Blackman.
Yeah.
Especially if we're going to just ignore the oddities by default. That's the next one here. As far as my favorite sign of the night, it wasn't necessarily hilarious, but for some reason when I saw it, it felt warm and cozy, like the 90s. And it was a sign that just said Dank 420.
Nice.
It's just such a 1998 term to be written on something, and it brought a smile to my face.
Yeah. Anything 420 or the Sable
but Dank 420 is just a...
Yeah. Or like Sable 469. That's always another one.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll start with my low light because it's the same as yours with the blue blazer. Just the blue blazer gimmick in general, and Owen Hart being basically just a comedy, a joke now is really bad to see. And of course, the blue blazer has this stigma behind it for terrible reasons. So yeah, fuck that whole thing. My highlight is going to be the return of the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. I think that even though he's not going to be in ring competing, I think just having him as an on-screen character adds a lot to the show. So that's my highlight. My favorite sign is really it's nothing special tonight. It's just a sign that said Bischoff sucks, but the fan was holding it upside down the entire show. So that's why that is my favorite sign.
So I'm going to be differing with both of you guys on my highlight. I went with just the look of absolute pure joy on Mark Henry's face when China showed up and accepted his invitation to the date. I don't know what it is about this between Mark and D'Lo and the way they're selling everything. Like, it's like a romantic bro comedy or something like that. I don't know, but I felt the joy with him. Like, damn, like, good for you, Mark. Like, that feels great.
And there's not even any sex involved.
No sex whatsoever.
No sex. I'm shocked. I thought for sure you were going to go with Dwayne Gale winning the light heavyweight title.
That's what I thought, yeah.
I did agree with you guys on the low light, though. Blue Blazer, Owen Hart, just enough said about it. Yeah. It's a tragedy. And I mean that in the genuine, like, Greek sense. It's a true tragedy with this how this is playing out. Favorite sign was another blink and you'll miss it sign, but it came from the guys that were right at the barrier there facing the hard camera. There was that little group of college boys there that had all the styrofoam heads, and at one point one of them held up a sign that said, "The Westland Foodland sucks ass." And it got my imagination going. Like, did one of them work there maybe before? Did they maybe not get a refund that they deserved? I don't know.
They were wronged in some way.
Yeah, the Foodland there in Westland, Ohio, wronged them somehow. So they needed to put that on a sign. And I appreciate that. That's the kind of petty vindictiveness that I can get behind.
It's like Yelp or Google reviews before they even existed.
Yeah. I'll never go there, certainly after this.
Yeah.
So
fuck them.
Yeah.
All right. Joseph, I don't suppose you have any contemporary wrestling news from on and around November 23rd, 1998 for us, do you?
I certainly do. From the Wrestling Observer, it's being reported that the in-ring future of a couple top wrestling stars of the era looks to be in major question. An existing injury seriously threatening the career of Shawn Michaels, which we know about. The other is an apparent business split between Eric Bischoff and Hulk Hogan. This is the time period where Eric Bischoff decided to make Kevin Nash the new booker for WCW. So Hulk Hogan is pissed about that at this time. So there are some WCW guys that wonder if this is... They're wondering if this is a work or a shoot. They're not sure. But I wanted to point that out because we're very, very close to the finger poke of doom, which I'm sure you guys have heard about. That happened when Kevin Nash was booking the show. It's actually the same night that Mick Foley wins the title, right? I think
yes.
Yeah. So things are not looking good for WCW. Shawn Michaels was given word about 10 days ago from his back specialist that his career is over. He is under contract by WWF for about $750,000 per year. So the WWF is planning on using him in other roles. So it is now official that Dave Meltzer is reporting that Shawn Michaels will probably not wrestle anytime soon or maybe ever again. Christine Jarrett. This is the Teenie. Yes, Jim Cornette talks about her a lot.
Yeah.
She, unfortunately, this is when she passed away. She passed away at the age of 75. She was Jerry Jarrett's mother and Jeff Jarrett's grandmother and ran the promotion in Nashville with Jerry. So she has passed away here in 1998. Another thing you guys might remember, the WWF has purchased a $1.6 million 30-second commercial spot during the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Which will take place on January 31st. That is a classic commercial. I remember.
Yeah, I remember it for sure.
I don't think I do.
It's the one where there's guys beating each other up and it's got like Austin saying we're never violent, and I think Mankind
walking through the office.
Yeah.
Okay, that I do remember.
And Sable,
walking through Titan Tower.
Yeah, Sable's like we never use sex to sell anything. Yeah.
Okay, I do remember that.
Speaking of commercials and TV, The Rock filmed an episode of USA Network's The Net. I do not remember that show.
Huh.
I remember the name, but I never watched it.
So The Net was a Sandra Bullock movie. Was that
like
a
movie.
spin-off of the movie?
I have no idea. I don't know.
I feel like the movie would have came out right around then as well.
Yeah. But it's on USA Network. It was on Saturday nights, so there was really no tie-in to wrestling in any way. But The Rock filmed an episode there. This can answer some questions for us. Steven Regal was sent home in the middle of the tour, the house show tour this past weekend, because he was in no condition to perform.
You don't say.
Yeah, so I think that answers some questions for us in the past few weeks. WrestleMania tickets will be going on sale for the show in 1999, which will be in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Prices range
$750.
Well, if it was 2026, yes, sir. But in 1999, you could get a ticket anywhere between $25 and $400.
Wow.
Last piece of news, another thing you guys will surely remember is that WWF Cologne will be coming out this Christmas, along with WWF Beanie Babies.
Oh, wow.
Those are some
Wait for the
blasts,
vote on that one.
blasts from the past there.
Yeah.
And that is all.
Wow. Thank you, Joseph. Illuminating as always. I never owned that cologne, but I'm pretty sure that was just another repackaging of Eau de Toilette.
I think it was called Attitude, right?
Yeah,
I think it was, yeah.
Put on some attitude, jabroni. You stink.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's it, folks. We are done with this one. I want to thank you again for joining us. If you like what we're doing here and want to connect with us, you can email us at WRASSLINRAW just at gmail.com to the end of that to submit questions or comments. Check us out on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and on every podcast subscription platform. While you're there, don't forget to follow and subscribe to get every episode of Wrasslin Raw coming to you with every release. Give us a 5-star review and tell all of your friends to tune in to the most grotesque Monday Night Raw review podcast on the airwaves. Next time on Wrasslin Raw, we're going to take a look at the Raw that aired on November 30th, 1998, with matches featuring Al Snow, Tiger Ali Singh, and many more. So, for Joe and Ryan, I'm Jason, and this has been Wrasslin Raw.